Okay, hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm sorry, wrong intro. Greetings. I am slightly not prepared. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, myth and legends. If those of you are out there, uh, myth and legends. If those of you are out there, welcome to F. And just in case if you guys didn't catch last week, if it's a play show where we kind of just take a question and talk about it. Because we're doing this live, we can. Oh shoot! That's the wrong thing. For a moment. So oftentimes I am likely to be unprepared, but today's a bit but since today is kind of more of a extension on last week's discussion where we talked about what if magic is real, today we will be talking about what if magical creatures are real. Currently there isn't anyone joining me right now, but allow me to at least start the discussion. Since last week when we talked about the whole what if magic is real, we went with a system where it started at around World War II. Requires some sort of wand or staff, which we're gonna stick with, but I'm gonna push the release date of Magic forward all the way to before Constantinople fell, which is around the end of the Roman Empire. And we're gonna stick with the same elemental ability and everything, and all the mechanics are the same, except we're gonna add a mana system on top of the whole cost of using magic, just to be a bit more forgiving when it comes to the whole magic thing, because you know you can't have magical creatures without magic. It's kind of a given. It's kind of more or less, I suppose, a given when it comes to the whole magical creature thing. And for the purpose of making life a bit easier for all of us and those of you at home, we're going to stick with the pop culture definition of all the mythical creatures. So let's start. We're gonna first get a list of mythical creatures and everything. List of all the mythical creatures and everything. One moment, my computer screen is completely messing up. Can't see anything. Just give me a moment. Recording looks just fine, but let me just quickly get rid of some of the black boxes. My computer's messing up. Oh, there we go. It's good now. Actually, I'm gonna keep that there. And yeah, just give me a moment. My computer screen is completely messing up. uh, I cannot see anything. How convenient. Okay, so by the look of things, I might have to deal with looking at the screen from my looking at my main monitor from the second monitor, which is very inconvenient. Uh, if my computer screen does not fix itself, or I can just look at the entire stuff on my second monitor, but you guys won't be able to see it. Okay, oh, my main monitor is back and it's gone. We're gonna use Wikipedia for the list, just to make things a bit simpler. Actually, you know what? Never mind. We're just gonna take the the ones on that first comes up on Google. Okay. Let's see. One, the first few, unicorn. I cannot see my monitor again. Somehow this happens every single freaking time. Surprisingly annoying. My computer's slightly messed up. So unicorn, mermaid, dragon, fairy. We're gonna skip the Loch Ness monster because that's that's just general sea waterborne monsters in general. Uh, we're gonna stick to the ones from general mythology, that generally appears in mythology and bunch of stuff. So we're skipping Loch Ness monster, Pegasus, Sphinx, huh? The person-headed lion. Why did I put in an X? Good lord, my computer's monitor. What is wrong with it? One moment, let me just. Phoenix. Let's see. It's fine. I got a second monitor that I can use as a backup. And oh, I'm glad um for Discord PDF public test beta. Public beta test. There's Leprechaun, but I'm not too sure if I should include that one. Since they're just tiny people with apparently gold sense or something, we'll count that as a special inborn ability was that only happens with people with dwarfism. So we're gonna skip like we're gonna skip Irish green people. Centaur, that's a very popular one in fiction, so that's definitely gonna be included. Oh yeah, for those of you currently watching, I'm not too sure if there is any right now. Well, it says one person watching, but I'm not too sure if that really means anyone. Uh, let's see. Mm, Chimera. Chimera is kind of a mix of things. We're gonna assume that someone created the Chimera through magic, so I'm not gonna include this in this list since I'm kind of thinking of going for naturally occurring mythical creatures that will be naturally occurring in some way. So and then there's a Yeti. And the list goes on. So but for the sake of making things simpler, but maybe for this, Good lord, Kappa is apparently a mythical creature now. So for the sake of making things simpler, let's just have like let's say some big categories. Uh, Let me think. Hmm. Let's go with the dragon category. Dragon. The dragon category. The dragon category. Hybrid category. Hybrid category, which includes Pegasus and all the other ones, were and all the other ones were and okay, come on guys. You know, you guys can hop into the chat and also talk about things here with uh, here with me and contribute to the discussion. So don't be shy, guys. Don't be shy. Anyways, back to the whole category. We have I suppose a dragon category would make sense for all the dragons and different kinds of dragons, since there's lots of different kind of dragons. We're probably going to include wyvern and maybe the basilisk as a as a kind of dragon. I'm not too sure, since basilisk is kind of just a super deadly lizard that kills everything it looks at. But since it's a lizard and it's dangerous, we'll count it as a dragon, just for the sake of things. Maybe also it's a Hydra, since Hydra is sometimes depicted as a multi-headed dragon. So it's going to include the Hydra under the dragon category as well. Hybrid category, primarily Pegasus stuff like Pegasus, Hippogriff, Manicore, Griffin, as well as pretty much everything else. That's combination of two different creatures. And then the fairy type. And then I think another one would make sense would be the fairy type, which is going to include straight up fairies, pixies, maybe elves, possibly. Good lord, my screen's going haywire again. All the time it could have decided to go haywire. It's probably when I start live streaming. I swear, if it's a thing with my power supply. You guys shouldn't be able to see what's going wrong with my screen, since it looks more like a hardware issue than anything else. So you guys shouldn't see any major issues. And another one is I think I'm gonna put the human like in a completely separate category, and let's see. My screen is completely dark. I can't see anything. Hello, computer. Oh, there we go. It's back. It might be gone again later. Also, I'm counting sea serpent as a kind of dragon. Let's see. Next was also goals and stuff. Work goal, imp, troll, those kind of stuff. We're gonna count that as demon, which for the sake of making things easy, we're just gonna add a demon kind just to make things a bit easier instead of trying to list everything. Because now that I've thought about it, listing everything was kind of a stupid idea. And then human like, which is going to include all the ones with human like features, excluding the actually do I exclude the lion head person? Hello, greetings. I forgot to set the permission for this channel. It turns out, because if I remember correctly, this channel this channel is supposed to be host only. So sorry. I'm sorry about that. But there's an open discussion channel that you can go to. Let me just put this here. There is this open discussion channel that everyone can go to chat. Also, there should be a invite code on screen as well as down in the description for anyone who would like to go in. Oh yes. Those of you in the live chat, welcome to ghost schools, those stuff. I think I'm going to count. Actually, ghosts. Would they count as demon or would they count as demons or just a completely different category? And vampires, since I know that my friend Zero over here is gonna get on my ass if I say that vampire counts as some sort of demons, since on his server there's like 50 kind of different subcategory vampires. So I'm gonna count vampires as its own thing, just to make things easier. So that being another separate category. Let me just quickly start getting rid of all the ones up there. That's kind of redundant. Also, I'm going to count Centaur as part of the human-like category, since they have human features and usually in stories they are interpreted as intelligent and wise. So I'll count them as part of the human-like category. And actually, now that some people have said it in the live chat, even though I'm pretty sure I said something about we have a open discussion channel that you can go to, and it will guarantee that I will see your what you were talking about. So one moment, just let me get an invite. Let me just quickly make an invite to the open discussion channel. Please use that link and go to the open discussion channel to write stuff, because yeah, well, but if you absolutely can't, I will check on the live chat every now and then. Okay, Zero Senpai and D0N8PL0X said some people say vampires are undead, but don't think so. Ghosts being spectral beings. So but since the whole vampire thing is a bit complicated, I'll count vampire as its own category, and another thing being Zero will go after my ass if I put vampire with anything else. And spectral beings, since my computer screen is messing up again, I'm gonna have to use my second thing. Oh good lord. Switching through oh good lord, panic mode. That's ignores that. Hello, hello, person in live stream. Open discussion. Yes, I know. There's a whole live stream lag thing. I haven't changed the bit rate since last time. I probably should have, since I probably should have changed the bit rate since last time. And Also, just a quick note, everyone. Because I am in Discord, anyone can hop into the voice channel and contribute directly to the conversation just by hopping into the live discussion room. Oh shoot, I must have forgotten to unlock it. Just give me a moment. Uh, Allow me to quickly unlock the channel because if I remember correctly, I forgot to unlock it. Okay, I just unlocked the channel. You guys should be able to you guys should be able to hop in and join the discussion directly, just talking now. And I'm hoping that you guys like my voice at least somewhat. Uh, Also, really sorry if there's any background music. If I put on background music, the live stream is gonna get even slower, and because I forgot to change the bitrate and everything. So yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Anyways, moving forward, spectral beings, and undead. So these will be our main. These will be our main categories that we'll be going with for the sake of this discussion. Uh, for the sake of this discussion, hello, Crazy, welcome. Hello, Crazy, and hello, Zero. You guys can't talk for some reason. One moment, did I set the permission wrong? Speak. Yeah, you guys should be able to speak. Yeah, you guys just have yourselves muted. Uh, Anyways, hello,
Yo,
Crazy.
Phoenix. What's the discussion today?
Uh, if you can read the title, it says, "What if magical beings are real? I mean,
I'm
magical
sorry,
creatures are
I'm
real."
blind.
As a
I'm
extent.
sorry, I'm legally blind.
Okay, all right. Today's discussion topic is what if magical creatures are real, which I
Oh,
believe
that's
I
awesome.
I introduced at the start of the thing, and you should be able to see it on the thumbnail. It is I've written it as big as I can. Uh,
Oh, I'm not at YouTube right now. I'm just at Discord
okay,
because I'm at a
all right.
friend's house.
Okay, all right. Anyways, so far we've made a list of the categories of magical creatures because if we're gonna list every single last one of them, it's gonna take too long. So let's start with the impact of them on the world, since we're assuming that these creatures are in our world and magic is present. Uh, Magic is present under slightly different circumstances than what we discussed last time, just to simplify things a bit more. Magic are more woven into everyday life, and there's less blood magic and everything. Just for the
Oh, blood magic. I just paid attention to blood magic. What's up with blood magic?
we're not going to talk about magic. We're just going to state that it's pretty much what we left off from last time, but a lot simpler and a lot more forgiving.
I mean, do we count cat girls as magic creatures?
We're going to count that as some crazy Japanese person's creation that somehow
Oh,
ended up
shoot.
spreading through the world.
Are you saying crazy with a C or crazy as me?
You. Actually, no, not you.
Oh,
Crazy with a C. Some weird Japanese person.
That's awful. What if I created them? Cause I mean,
Anyways,
please.
moving on. Cat girls will probably fall under the human-like category, and likely wouldn't have too big of an impact considering you effectively just made either another subspecies of human or
Maybe
or a
we have
domestic pet, one of the two. So we're gonna kind of ignore that for now. So let's start on the impact on the world one at a time. Let's start with everyone's favorite dragons. Maybe not everyone
Let's
since
start
crazy is weird, but
categories.
but most people's favorite, dragon. Uh, for the case of dragon, we are including wyvern and other giant deadly lizards such as basilisk and hydra as dragons. However, the whole rarity thing. Uh,
Okay, so have we talked about the categories?
yes, I have listed the category in live notes. Let's just quickly see.
Oh, okay. I'll just take a look right now. A second.
Okay. Um, Marlos Stone. The guy with a Nerf icon as his username said, "Crazy with a E." Got it. Crazy with E.
Okay, so, okay. Maybe we have like subcategories as like friendly, aggressive,
We're gonna
or something.
we're gonna uh we're going to go with the pop culture definition. So let's say under human like slash demon maybe uh since those sirens are freaking demons. Uh,
Okay.
so
Phoenix.
sirens by pop culture definition or traditional mythology just to make things simpler. Uh,
Okay.
uh,
Phoenix. I have to go for like 5 minutes because I need to take a quick bath. I just left the pool.
all right, it's fine. You don't need to tell me what you're about to do. Just go and come back if you need.
I'm about to take a bath. See ya.
All right. It appears that Crazy is adding a bunch of. Zero is adding a bunch of reactions to the vampire thing. Might as well hop on the boat and just click on every single one of them. You're welcome. Uh, we're gonna go with a more or less pop culture definition of each mythical creature, and assumes that undeads are generally aggressive spectral beings. Generally, don't interfere with the world unless plot of Ghostbuster happens. Uh, I'm not gonna click the last two icons. Zero. No, actually, now that I think about it, I'm also gonna unclick these ones. Uh, and demons. Uh, Going with pop culture definition, we will assume that they will be generally aggressive towards humans, and fairies we will assume that they are generally neutral, as in some will be aggressive towards humans and some will be friendly. Human-like, we will assume that their reaction towards us depends on our actions towards them. So, such as let's say a centaurus that lives in a forest, people go cut down the forest, they be aggressive to people. People don't cut down forest and be nice to them, they be nice to people. Uh, we're gonna go with something like that. Uh, or mermaids, you pollute ocean, they hate you. You pollute ocean, they like you. Uh, um, Zero said talk slower, so I will try to. And also, massive apologies to everyone because I kind of started this live stream about almost 30 minutes late, so massive apologies to anyone who waited. So considering that no one was here when I started, I'm assuming that no one was really late, so no one was really here in the first place. So moving forward, dragons. Okay, dragons is an interesting one because when it comes to the creatures, we're going to assume that their their intelligence is propor. Well, yeah, dragons are weird. When it comes to trying to gauge their intelligence, we can either have super wise dragons or super wise dragons that are super smart, or and animalistic, which would be problematic. Uh, we will assume that both exist. Uh, both types exist. And with basilisk and stuff primarily being animalistic and aggressive and territorial because uh, I'm not too sure if you guys are familiar with the whole SCP fandom, but one of the terms in there is a XK class end of the world scenario. because if because if a Basilisk just randomly walks around, we'd have the XK class end of the world scenario where everything dies. So we will assume that Basilisks are either super territorial and only stays within their territory, or something similar along those lines. And as a person currently in voice chat said in open discussion, another thing is demons being possibly less aggressive but more like manipulative. We will count that as a form of aggression just for simplicity's sake. So guys, let's move on to the next bit. What are some possible impacts on the world, on everyday life? Would would these things exist? Any comments from open discussion and live chat? Okay, I guess none. None so far. Like, if these magical creatures exist. Okay, the world will probably hunt dragons to extinction. Demons will effectively kill us all. We're gonna say that the time span is that modern day with technology up to date. So looking at what you're saying there, we can probably safely assume that we will be at perpetually at war with demons. At war with forever at war with demons. I'm gonna add that to the live notes. Dragons would be heavily hunted, so it's gonna be one of those animals nearing one of those animals that are nearing extinction. Dragons almost extinct already. Good lord. Due to their dangerous nature, yeah, there's that. And vampires being heavily monitored, that is actually a very good point, because vampires, as all of you know, are fucking terrifying, because they are blood sucking, horrifying. I don't know what I want to say demons, but Zeros is gonna yell my ass for it. But heavily monitored makes sense. Maybe even killed. Vampires are hard to kill, so it'd probably be a lot easier to just monitor them. I'm talking fast again, aren't I? And oh yeah, there's also the whole angel thing. I should probably add that to the live notes. Well, so exist. So anyways, so there's going to be a eternal war between heaven and hell. Hell with human caught in the middle, probably helping both sides, because that's how we humans are apparently. We're yeah. And chat guy, where are you? Religions will probably play a bigger part. Oh yes, that is that is a good point. The whole thing, the whole religion thing, religion playing a bigger part and more fun towards the whole war on heaven and hell thing. From Ponte Ponte. Religion. I'll put your quote in there just so that we can see over there. Uh, so let's see, we'll be caught in an eternal war between heaven and hell. Le Ponte. Got it. So that's how you pronounce your name. Nice. So human caught between the eternal war between heaven and hell, and vampires being a possibly underground species that shoot, I hopped into the wrong channel. The church holding a huge part in the power. Yeah, that's a huge, yeah, a militarized. Oh, good lord! Imagine a militarized church in today's world. However, now that I think about it, there's another thing with it. Now that I think about it, there's another thing with it because since we're assuming that technology is still on modern day standards, there will likely be studies into demon biology and everything. So church will still play a huge part, but maybe not as big as you guys are making it to be, since modern technology still exists, and research into the whole demon and angel physiology will also be a thing. Albeit not exactly, the church possibly not very much for it, but personally still thinks that it is a very likely thing to happen. Because we're humans. Humans do stupid things for no apparent reason, and some of those are things that we do just because we can. Such as cutting open angels and demons just to figure out how they work. That's likely going to be a thing that happens. Considering, yeah. Well, okay, Zero said modern technology and science says demons are bullshit. If they actually show up, people will turn against those scientists and go super religious. Except humans are kind of the hold my bear and watch this kind of species, and we're kind of just probably gonna have a bunch of people charging at mostly Americans charging at a hell portal, holding M16s and lots of guns, and just charging at it and firing guns every other day of the week. So yeah, the whole militia thing, as our friend over here is saying right now. And U.S. or Russia, yep. America, the place where getting a gun is almost as easy as getting a toothbrush, because there's a whole misconception thing with getting guns is easy in America thing, but anyways, militia is going to be a pretty big thing when it comes to the whole dealing with demons and angel thing. Probably mostly dealing with demons. But again, they say that the reason humans are in charge of the Federation in Star Trek was because humans are the only species that would plug through warp ports together just to see what would happen. So we will probably very likely turn on the angels just to get their power and everything. We're going to just to make things easier, we're going to assume that afterlife does not when afterlife occurs, whoever's that goes into the two sides don't retain their previous memory or anything. In other words, basically afterlife isn't really a thing for functional purposes anyways. So effectively, afterlife doesn't really exist, but it's still there to make things simpler. well, I mean, common belief is that when you go into afterlife, you retain your memories. But since we end our discussion at 11, and I would like to have at least uh, 15 minutes of cleanup time to summarize all the stuff that we've talked about. We're going to simplify things a bit, so that we're going to use that afterlife and reincarnation is a thing, but you just don't remember it, and you likely won't ever remember it, to make things simpler. To make things simpler, and you'll be hopping between races a lot, but you won't know. So there's that. There we go. That's simplified. I'm gonna go get a drink before my throat catches on fire. All right. All right. So although that actually, now that I think about it, that could help the world move forward in a huge step, because it with a whole war on heaven and hell thing going on, uh, there would be a lot less wars between the countries, but a lot more against heaven and hell, depending on how things are going. Oh good lord, is this gonna be World War III already? Uh, the heaven side and the hell side? Probably. Now that I think about it, was probably complete chaos to a certain extent, but War on Heaven and Hell was human caught in between, kind of helping both sides. Yes. Hi, welcome to the pure chaos that these live streams is meant for. So let's see. We're going to ignore. Should well be. Or or that all the world wars that just never happened. Uh, says says La Ponte. I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing your name right this time. El Ponte, is that how you? Close enough, I guess. Another thing, demons existing and vampire existing, human would eventually become food or something to use. High ranking vampires would hold considerably high ranking if they decide to work side with humanity against demons/angels, even if they decide to utilize the chaos and war to extend their powers in number, which could deceive of vampires. Said Zero. That actually that's actually a very good point. This actually kind of reminds me of an anime that I watched recently. Uh, one moment, let me see if I can pull it up. Well, I technically watched it a while back and never really finished it. Let me just quickly pull it up. Not that one. It's it's Seraph of the End. Was it? Um, one moment. It's there we go. Show information. Let me quickly pull this Yes. Yeah. That anime, it is different since the plot of the anime was humanity got wiped out by a virus and uh and vampire took over, but just could follow like something that's slightly similar, as in the vampires are slowly taking over by basically acting as a front force of uh the frontline force of the mortal world. Uh, Acting as a frontline force of the mortal world, since they are kind of more or less immortal. Uh, Likely, basically taking over a huge chunk of the world through the whole military thing. If they decide to side with humans, and also the whole virus thing, we're going to assume that there's no magical illnesses, because that is going to make things because that is going to open a whole other can of worms, and someone else is going to and someone else please dive into it instead of me. Here we go. Uh, we're going to ignore the existence of magical illnesses, because it's because that's a whole other can of worms, as I said. Uh, okay, let's see what. Okay, let's see what else. Mm. So let's see. Also, okay, next thing, the current military. Since we're assuming that technology and everything is at the same point as in this fictional world that we're building here as our current world, which means we will have A10 Warthogs, AC, AC-130s, and tactical bombers and stuff flying around, killing demons and angels depending on which side uh, we're fighting for. Uh, and we will assume that modern weapons are. Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, right. The whole what's the dragon thing? The whole dragon thing could be yeah. Titans and giants. That's a good point. And dragons and other dangerous creatures either tamed or end up feeding off humans. And since we're going with the modern technology being at the current state, I think the whole taming dragon thing is a bit more likely. Because, we humans are batshit crazy when it comes to these kind of stuff. Uh, so taming a dragon is not too far-fetched. Or taming an army of dragons, for that matter. Taming and breeding an army of dragons. That sounds more like the humanity I know and love. And Titans and Giants, not too sure if I should like count them onto the demon side or the angel side, or just neutral, and just will attack just about anything that comes in their way. If we assume that they are the kind of things that attacks everything that comes in their way, they would become something that's more like a tactical, like part of the tactical terrain when it comes to the whole war thing. And and I think right now we're focusing a bit too much on the war aspect. Oh, yes, half bred. Oh, oh boy, the discrimination factor among potential half breds. Uh, we're gonna assume that half bred between humans and angels will be extremely unlikely due to angels being angels. Uh, uh, and half bred between human and demons. Would they side with the human side of their family of their blood, or demon side? that would be kind of weird. But since considering the whole discrimination thing, they will likely say it was the demon side, which they will probably still be discriminated against. Though either side is gonna be the same. Uh, Also, since we're assuming that the modern sorry, co- drinking coke into milk, talking while talking that fast is not good for anything ever. My apologies. Uh, since right now we focus quite a bit on war, so I kind of want to right now I would like to shift the focus away from the whole war on heaven and hell thing, and more onto life on Earth. Uh, More onto life on Earth. So let me allow me to quickly pull up a world map. Okay. Oh yeah, right. Also, them having the same technology as we have, because that's also going to be an issue. But we're gonna go back to the war thing in just a moment. I'm gonna try to focus on the focus on the whole world for a moment. Uh, let's say that for the convenience of things, let's say that a hell portal opened up in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Uh, One in Utah, because who likes Utah anyways? Just kidding. Utah's kind of important, but we're gonna assume that one opened in the middle of Utah. One opened in the back countryside of China. Let's see. Should we put? Let's see. Where would one make sense in Europe? Demon Hell Portal. Oh yeah, Japan and China would definitely get really rich of their trade thing. Oh yes, the Stonehenge, the stone. That's it. That's a really good one. Which is in UK. So so the European Hell Portal is going to be on the Stonehenge. Uh, so we have one in the middle of Utah. Uh, actually, would it make more sense to be on the Yellowstone Mountain? Hmm. Would it make more sense to be on the Yellowstone Mountain? I don't know. Let's see. Um, Leopard. Putting a hell portal directly on the Statue of Liberty seems a bit too much. Seems like a bit too much. So you know what? We're gonna stick with Utah. Uh, a hell portal in the middle of Utah. Back countryside of China, middle of Sahara Desert, Stonehenge, which means UK is kind of fucked. One seems like a reasonable place. Let's see. What do we have left? Antarctica and New Zealand. Antarctica is a inhospitable place, anyways, for literally anyone, even humans. So since well, highly doubt that demons will go after Antarctica, so we're gonna ignore Antarctica. One in the middle of Australia. Have fun, demons. uh, so let's see. By the way, this is gonna be important because this will highly dictate the territories of humans and angels and human, angel, and demons. The three factions in the war. Uh, uh, did I spell that right? I think I did. Middle of Utah. Stonehenge, spelled that wrong, obviously. Henge. Stonehenge. Falklands. Falklands. Angels form some sort of floating island. That's not too far fetched. It kind of makes sense. So let's say the angel just have a giant floating island base floating above the earth, so that it just drifts randomly, or towards a location of highest conflict between demons and stuff. Well, of course, demon is going to be in a hell-like realm, of course, which is why I'm going around placing hell, figuring out where hell portals would be. In the middle of the Sahara Desert. In the middle of the Sahara Desert, somewhere around here, and in the middle of the Gobi Desert. African Desert, Gobi Desert, and just Australia, somewhere in Australia. Demon generals would have. Yeah, makes sense. So far in pretty much all form of fiction, it's been known to be good practice to not randomly attack humans, because randomly attack humans unprepared. We all know what happened to the aliens. Stonehenge is closed. Got it. By the way, avoid going to the Stonehenge at these times. There might be a hell portal there. Well. Oh yes, schools. Basically, every single school being a military school would also make sense, because with the whole eternal war thing. Well, Zero is off making another roleplay server now. I'll see it when you're done, I guess. What or whatevs. This actually reminds me of quite a few anime. The one that jumps at me right now about the whole military school thing is Eleanor Zero, where the schools, all high schools have a mandatory military training thing that they have to go through. So that's probably going to be part of the thing. So everyone is going to know how to shoot a gun. In terms of the whole civilian life thing, there will be no civilians. In other words, so now that we've established some of the major locations of hell portals, Australia's just straight up abandoned. Who cares about Australia anyways? Oh yes, that would make sense. So in terms of major population populations being moved, I'd say probably the entire Utah state will likely be quarantined. Assuming that we were able to get into set up San Francisco and everything, likely the entire Utah state and maybe a good half of the area around it will also be also education will be a lot more focused towards militaristic stuff, and in schools that are for science and science, technology, and research will be primarily focused towards developing weapons and stuff, probably, and be highly specialized rather than more general stuff. So that would also probably make sense, because we still need scientists and engineers to make the guns that we're using. Also probably and it would also, so let's just say that the area Utah and the area around it is kind of quarantined as a permanent war zone. Probably area around the entire a good half of the. Okay. Okay. We have some more nice points by Zero here. So I'm gonna put it on screen for you guys. Actually, never mind. I regret doing that because if I were to do that, I would have to do a bunch of resizing the rest of the everything. So I'll just leave it like this for now. Anyways, so so here's Altis. So and likely let's think Canada will be Canada. There's pretty much nothing we can really say about that. Though with a hellhole in the middle of the Gobi Desert, which is kind of the Chinese back country here, would basically propel most of Asia into pointing their guns in this general area, and China would probably lose this huge half of territory to the demons. Not that this area is being used anyways. Canada would be around the top of the chart. Oh yeah, right. Also, the world organizations, assuming that NATO, UN, or similar Japan would probably get overrun by vampire demons. Are you sure that they're not gonna just are you sure that they're not gonna just stuffing their questionable genre of anime? Anyways, moving off that point, we'll assume that the Japanese are just gonna be Japanese. We'll yeah, we'll assume that Japanese will be Japanese. Also, another thing, the whole angel thing might not be necessary. Now that, yeah, otakus would probably die fast, since there's a whole that thing. But now that I think about it, a hell is not exactly necessary, or become retarded vampires. I would like to see that very much, just for the loss of it. And it would probably be like one of the funniest thing one would ever see. Like, yes, yes, I found it. A army of otaku vampire. The Japanese army is composed of a okay, Japan have an army of otaku vampires. Okay, also now that I thought about it, there's that having an angel side having angels might not be exactly necessary, since this anime right here depicts kind of a war between humanity and demons, but not actually anything. Oh, I'm sorry, Leponte, I kind of ignored you for a bit. Will human population slowly become vampires, seeing as vampires are nearly superior to humans in almost everywhere? Also, humanity will use gene splicing to mix themselves with vampire hybrid giant, half giant, heavily discriminated. Assume hell portal would accumulating places with crime and corruption. Atlantis. Oh yes, good point, Atlantis. Also the whole hell portal location thing. I'm just picking convenient location. Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, that's kind of it. The hell portal locations. I'm kind of just picking convenient locations where it would make sense to drop them without causing major effects. without causing too big of an effect that would make it too annoying for us to discuss here on in a single live stream.
Yo,
Hello, Crazy, welcome back. To catch up on things, you should probably skim through all the live open discussion and everything.
sure.
So,
I won't do that.
So
What
Dracula
you
is gonna.
talking
So Dracula is going to have a seat in the UN. Sounds good. Or at least the UN equivalent in that world. Oh wait, Dracula is in the original. Wait, who is the original then?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, so
Okay.
Vampiric Greek dude holding a seat in the UN was his secretary being Dracula. Sounds amazing. Now go write the anime about it, Crazy.
Yes.
On second thought, don't. We all know what would
What?
happen if we allow Crazy to write and draw animes. Okay, so Greek vampire dude and also another thing is going off Leponti's point of human population slowly becoming vampires. I would say that's probably not a thing that would happen, even though humans are batshit crazy when it comes to certain things. We still kind of like, we still have a thing with keeping ourselves human sort of thing, I suppose. Since there's no set lore about where the first vampire come from, we're just gonna ignore it. Author Grant, what if? Okay, you like to create crazy. I know that's you. Okay.
What? Did you call me? Did you call me?
Yes, I know. Oh wait, no. Oh, never mind. That's not crazy, I suppose. Uh. Uh. Okay, now moving
What
on
you
to.
talking about? Yo, did you call me?
No. I did not.
Right now I'm rebooting my laptop that I took apart.
All right. Anyways, moving on to the whole Atlantis part. What role would it play in the world? Okay. We will assume that Atlantis is just some floating city. Okay. What exactly is Atlantis, anyways? Oh yeah, mermaids would definitely be a huge resource to humanity since they are kind of like they are probably gonna become the major naval forces. Yeah, and they would also be able to supply the human population with food. Food was like fishing. Was fishing since they are kind of just straight up in the sea. Catching fish is a bit easier for them than for us. Uh, Creature evolution. We'll ignore evolution, author, because that is going to open a whole nother can of worms that's going to take forever.
What about we just add like evolution, but then it's kind of
No, that's going to open a whole nother can of worms. We're not going to get into that for now. In a later date, if we ever come back to this discussion, we can add on top of it. Children's dream will come true with unicorns. So that's one good thing that's coming out of this.
I'll be right back. Or not,
and another thing is farming. Since considering the whole situation, the suburban sprawl will likely to occur a lot less as people try to make everything as compact as possible to be able to have more farmland to provide food for the war. Yeah, crazy good point. You see, childhood is that thing that's nice, but it will die very quickly. Will also die very quickly. As soon as you realize the truth about the world, and unicorns killed for food or material, likely not food, because unicorn flesh might have some adverse effect, and since in Harry Potter, unicorn flesh have issues. So it is common in pop culture to say that unicorn horn. Do unicorns fly or nay? Let's see. Maybe under maybe that they can fly under special conditions, but not always. Well, I mean Pegasus is a thing, so Pegasus is here. We got Pegasus, so um just grab those flying horses. They they would be trained. I just remember something. Uh anyways, by any chance, weaponized unicorn looks something like this. Weaponized unicorn. Just a knife taped its horn. Yes. And also, it's for sea serpents is gonna be an interesting one. I mean, as humans we have uh, as humans we have managed to tame and utilize aquatic creatures such as dolphins, but not much beyond that. To when it comes to the whole aquatic thing, sea serpent is likely going to be one of those things that we're going to have a bit of issue with, but we shouldn't have too much issue with if we just stay clear of them or use them as tactical stuff. Oh no! Not the whales! Not the whales! Not the whales! We've already haunted them enough. We don't need more of them getting killed by sea serpents. Also, wouldn't sea serpents be far and few between? Because, they're sea serpents. Also, would they fall into the category of dragons? Like, would they? Or would they fall under some other categories? Because if they fall under the category of dragons, then something interesting we might be able to deal with them. But do leviathans fall under demon, dragons, or sea serpent? Well, I'm gonna say that uh, leviathans does not fall under does not fall under demon, since a leviathan, the term leviathan generally is just referring to any large sea creature, so it's gonna be a bit complicated. So probably falling under sea serpent, and depending on if sea serpents fall under the category of dragons or not. Also just another thing that I would like to quickly point out. Whales have been referred to as leviathan in the Bible, so that's one way to look at it. So that's one way to look at it. But since, as you said, exact lore is massive demons / dragons that lives in the sea, that can control water and fishes. So Aquaman, but less boring and better. So Aquaman, but better. Okay, all right, let me just quickly write it down. Leviathan equals Aquaman, but better. It's not important, but I'm just gonna put that in here. Most commonly fought giants. Okay, that would actually get a lot of things out of the way. So there's just gonna be the seaside giants that's constantly fighting the leviathans and sea serpents, keeping them more or less out of the way of the whole heaven and have war on heaven and hell. And they could be used strategically by both sides in a fight by pulling the enemy into the crossfire and everything. Great for well, you know what happens with their skin being great for armor. Do you know what happens when humans discover that something is exploitable? We exploit the fuck out of it. Also, humanity is not stupid or batshit crazy. There's a difference. Uh, yeah. But I mean, like, granted, a lot of us is going to die, especially at first, but eventually we'll get a hang of it and be really good at it. I mean, seriously, the first thing we thought when we discovered nuclear fission was to build a bomb. And we have how many of those stockpiled? I don't think that the whole dealing with uh, killing killing leviathans and killing leviathans for their hide to use as armor is going to be a seriously big issue. And don't forget, we're assuming that the technology is on modern levels, so the military could entirely carry out sortie missions to take out sea serpents to harvest their hide for armor. Not sure if Leviathan can eat a nuke, but same here. I'm not sure either, but I'm pretty sure it will cause too much damage. But remember, we're saying that we are saying that we have modern technology, so bring the 18 Warthogs and AC-130s and just start bombing the head. And just focus on the head. Demons and angels would also yeah, pretty much, yeah, it would make sense for pretty much all the advanced races. Actually, you know what? Let's since as we said earlier, actually don't nuke the Leviathan. The mermaids won't like it, so don't. Now that I think about it, don't nuke the Leviathans. Well, yeah, vampires are fucking immortal. So, so, oh, okay, just another thing. Since we're saying that technology is at the modern day level, so accounting artificial intelligence, um, accounting artificial intelligence, and those kind of stuff, human advances would be highly exponential. So it would belong to the artificial intelligence, assuming that we have it under control. So that technically it's still human stuff. So well, well, at least we have that shred of hope. And also another thing is depending on the difference in technology between uh a mortal world, Earth, basically all the races that naturally occurs on Earth, demons and angels, depending on the technological difference between these three major factions. Humans would use that. Again, we are batshit crazy. We would weaponize captured demons and angels and vampires and whatever the fuck we can. We are batshit crazy by most standards. There's a good reason why there's a good reason why aliens don't visit us. Just a good reason why aliens don't visit. Just a good reason why aliens don't visit us. So yeah. Oh, by the way, we're gonna assume that aliens are not involved in this conflict, just to make things a bit simpler. Uh, we're gonna ignore them. I just brought that up just that's a joke. So yeah. we And depending on the level of technological difference, humanity could easily could be kind of fighting a guerrilla warfare style fight against both sides, since uh, that is kind of a thing that's been proven to be extremely effective if you are fighting against a technologically or just simply superior force. Black Death, the bubonic plague, or just major diseases in general. Since it's obvious that demons and angels will not observe our war policies of not using unusually cruel weapons, we shall, for the purpose of that, we shall ignore those policies when fighting against demons and angels. So let's burn this planet to a hellhole. As if this planet is not already a hellhole. Which lore are we going off for angels / demons? I am honestly not very sure. Because if we include a all powerful deity in this things can get very annoying very quickly. But assuming that, since if we're going for Christianity again, as you said, there's a whole archangel thing. There's gonna be the whole archangel thing, which is not gonna sit well with humans doing experiments on angels. If we go with like other mythologies, I'm not too sure which ones strictly have angels or stuff. But actually, now that I think about it, since we're, let me think, probably Greek mythos would be a good bet, because that's kind of Greek / Roman mythos is kind of the more interesting one. So we're gonna go with Greek / Roman mythos. Oh yes. Since we're going with the Greek and / Roman mythos, demigods. That's gonna be fun. Uh, uh, that's gonna be a very fun thing to have on human side. Uh, though with that said, we just we've effectively made sure that the war is between So now with that said, since we're using the Greek mythos, it's basically a war between heaven and hell, rather than heaven, human, and hell. Since in the Greek mythos, humans are fighting on the side of the gods, mostly, anyways. Mostly, but again, considering we humans are fucking batshit crazy, uh, we likely wouldn't give a shit about who we're picking a fight with. We just be like, hold my bear and charge riding, because that happens. Uh, since we are the batshit crazy species that's just hold my bear, I got this. We are like that, so like we are legitimately just that kind of species. So yeah. Okay, now moving forward, maybe dwarves. Are we going to go with the whole dwarves are insanely good engineers thing? Since dwarves and elves, we're gonna have those fall under the human-like category. So probably on the same side as humans, under the conditions that we don't like violate violate their territories and stuff too much. Since I think I'm pretty sure elves could get territorial here and there. Slimes. That's opening a whole nother can of worms. I don't want to deal with those things just right now. Uh, we'll skip those for late. We'll save those for later. Uh, anyways, personally, I think that everyday life around major population centers shouldn't be too different, since those are the places that's I already told um crazy no on that one, or just Japan only. But yeah, Beastman, that's a good excuse for it. Now that you said it. Um, now that you now that you said it, I can't avoid it. Thanks. You better regret that one. We're just going to ignore that. We're just going to ignore that. Um, uh, moving forward, personally, I think like around major populations, uh, that might actually be the single demon that can properly get along into human society without major issues, assuming that they hide themselves properly, since they don't exactly do anything major in terms of like um let's try to keep this PG. Try. Okay, we're actually getting quite close to uh when I should be ending the live stream, so I'm gonna just quickly throw in a few final thoughts and summarize things a bit. The open discussion thing will be open for the next 24 hours, or the entirety of the next week, depending on if I remember to close it or not. Uh, depending on if I remember to close it or not, and 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 just to summarize things up a bit and throw in a few final thoughts. In terms of the area around major population personally, I think that the life in major population centers shouldn't be too Azira, I didn't say anything about that just yet, but anyways, we're just gonna skip that and continue with my final thoughts. Uh, personally, I think that life in major population centers wouldn't be too different, with the exception of the militaristic schooling thing, like in Blue Exorcist and Eleanor Zero and everything. Uh, and after and after that would and after that, since those areas will likely be heavily guarded because they are population centers, uh, and after that bit, moving on. Oh, Zero just brought up a very important point. Golems. Golems. That's gonna be opening a whole nother can of worms, though. It's gonna take a while to get through golems. So we'll just say that golems, with modern technology equipped, are giant, automated, anti-vampire slash angel slash demon slash whatever the crap is attacking humans now. And we have Transformers, I suppose, because of the golem thing. Anyways, to basically summarize things a bit, assuming we have mythical creatures and demon, and if demon is included as one of them, so would angels, and the world would effectively be an eternal war between heaven and hell. But since, as I pointed out earlier, major population I keep on hopping into the general channel by accident. Major population centers will likely be more or less safe against pretty much anything that tries to kill humans due to the likely to be heavy defenses around those kind of places. And mythical creatures, because humans being humans, we will exploit just about anything we can. Mythical creatures such as dragons and stuff will be heavily exploited to the end of protecting ourselves, or perhaps even conquering hell and heaven. Since humans tends to try to pull those kind of shit. We're just like that. In case of angels and demons are watching this live stream, please don't invade Earth. Bad things happen when you do. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, that's more or less it. Technology, assuming that it is still at today's point, things can get really weird. Nice whistle you got, Zero. Hey, you finally unmuted. Even though that was really short-lived, but hey, that calls for celebration. And yeah, that I suppose that more or less sums up the results of this discussion. Technology would be a bit weird, but still very interesting. Life more or less the same, just eternal war and everything. It'll probably be fine. World peace between humans. Hopefully, the vampires as main fighting force of the Earth, depending on if they want to conquer, depending on what they're trying to do. Who knows? And pretty much, I suppose that's about it. Assuming we're following the whole Greek and Roman mythos and everything, because if we go for different mythos, things can be very weird. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this particular talk on how would machine such as AI eventually play part. Okay, next, since you asked at such a point in time, I think, Lipone just asked how machines such as AIs and stuff play part. Probably tactical stuff. Probably in tactical stuff wars and keep making things more efficient, since that's uh what what they are supposed to be used for now. Anyways, anyways, that more or less sums up our discussion. Uh, it's gonna be eternal wars that eventually will feel more or less the same as what it is like today, since technically the world is never in peace. You know, it's the whole Middle East thing. But yeah, just that. I hope you all likes liked what you have heard here, and is willing to maybe contribute in future discussions and join our amazing community and be just, I suppose, awesome moving forward. Anyways, it is I Phoenix, your host. This has been If the show. Uh, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye. I don't have outro. I'll just use this up here, right? See ya.